Aside from the base game, Kiwami 1 offers Climax battles as a sort of side kind of mini-game to play if you've beaten the story or if you want something extra. These Climax battles range from just fighting hordes of enemies to doing really minute specific challenges dedicated to a certain part of a level. Now, although these challenges aren't too challenging after you get done with them for a bit, they can be very confusing when you're starting out. Hence why I've made it my goal to create a guide on all the Climax battles in Yakuza Kiwami 1. Before I begin, I do want to add on the 4 different sections for the Climax battles. You have Proving Grounds, Melee battles, Mad Dog battles, and then Ultimate battles. Proving Grounds is essentially just a challenge in terms of you have a set restriction or you have to meet a certain criteria, which is extremely linear. You have to meet it, you can't really go around it. These can include defeating enemies without getting hit or without touching the ground, maybe not getting knocked down, maybe just doing a very tedious challenge on just 1 HP, or a simple survive section. Melee battles are simply just generic battles the game throws at you with some minor changes and with some restrictions. These battles aren't too hard on their own, but with the additional restrictions you're given or time limits, they can be quite challenging. Mad Dog battles are simply battles against Majima. They're not too complicated, just that the restrictions can make it very locked in, wouldn't give you much space to work with. And finally, Ultimate battles, which are just boss rushes with different categories. So you'll fight one of Hitman or all the Yakuza bosses, you fight one of all the bosses, or end of chapter bosses I call them, and even some of the gangs in the game. Now without further ado, let's get into it. This is a guide on all Climax battles in Yakuza Kiwami 1. The Proving Grounds section of the Climax battles is probably going to be the hardest section for most people. This is because these challenges are sort of ludicrous and just flat out dumb, many requiring you to memorize the path or replay that Proving Ground several times until you can master it. Now, one thing all these Climax battles have in common are these little modifiers at the bottom. Not the description, but something about the character, the player. These could either say Idolized Dragon, Technical Dragon, Dragon Embodied, Dragon Reborn, Weakest Dragon, or Strongest Dragon. Weakest Dragon means you have 0 upgrades. You're worst of the worst, bottom of the barrel, basically as if you just started the game. Strongest Dragon means you have all skills equipped, all skills available, so body, soul, tech, and the dragon skill tree. Dragon Reborn means you have only dragon style upgrades. Idolized Dragon means you have all soul upgrades, so usually heat actions or anything to do with heat. Technical Dragon means you have all the technical skills, meaning you have all the moves in the game, you can basically do anything in all the styles, but you don't do as much damage. And Dragon Embodied means you have all the body skills, so you have maximum health and maximum damage output. These restrictions can make certain Climax battles really difficult, especially when it might take you a while to get one enemy because you don't know most of the moves, and it just drains your time, meaning you have to perfect a route after you replay it many times. Well, anyway, on to the Proving Grounds. For Proving Grounds 1, all you have to do is defeat all the enemies without getting knocked down. This is simply the Shimano family battle, except like straight up bullshit, because you can get knocked down pretty easily by just like anything really. You got this one guy chasing you with a chainsaw, you have another guy that's really sneaky in the back with a shotgun, and you have just one guy lobbing grenades at you. The good thing about this is that because you are the strongest dragon, you can essentially build up heat the second you start the battle. Simply evade and you'll get to maximum heat, which is something you want to do. Get that heat and ignore all the enemies, evade as much as you can, and go straight for the guy with the grenade. Make sure you don't get a grenade lobbed at you, give him a 2-hit combo, knock him down, and make sure to keep your eyes on the shotgunner in the back. This guy will most definitely take you down if you're not paying attention. He is weaker than the grenade man, so simply bait out a shot, give him a good combo, and just run away. Maybe repeat, or you can save the grenade guy for last. To deal with a massive horde of enemies, I've found the best strategy is to just go straight to beast mode in the main part of the ship where you spawn in, and just combo. Because in the beast style, while you have heat, you cannot get knocked down, no matter what, if you're attacking. This is why you shouldn't try to grab or commit to any heat actions during this phase, because it will drain all your heat, meaning you can get knocked down easier, or you could grab someone by accident and just get your ass flattened because you're not attacking anything. Your first target with the beast mode would definitely be the chainsaw guy, but don't try and go for him directly, try to get a crowd around you and then just smack them all down to get maximum damage. After a few combos he should go down and go to the back of the boat, finish off anyone you left, and that's Proving Grounds 1 done. Proving Grounds 2 is a little more, I'd say RNG based, because you're basing it on enemies kind of attacking or not. All you have to do for this one is reach 5 experience points. This is done through defeating enemies, and that's literally all you can do in this challenge. Best advice I can give you is grab the weapons on your left, which should be just giant poles or one big old electric sign, and just smack the enemies down. Now, because you are dragon embodied in this challenge, you have all the damage and all the health you can ever get. The thing that doesn't translate through this is heat actions. However, on the weaker enemies, this is really good. Simply grab a pole, smack them down. Once you get enough heat, use a heat action, because heat actions stop the timer. This is something to be considered, especially in very time crunchy challenges like this one, where you don't have a lot of time, so heat actions are really your best friend. Simply beat them down the weapons, and once you reach 3 experience points, this man in black should come in to the fight. He will be your next major target. Find a weapon, or just maybe even a bucket, smack him down with it, maybe stun him, and then use the bucket heat action on him, punch him down a little bit. It should be enough. Maybe hit him with a few combos as well, because this challenge is really time restrictive, so you don't really have too much time to get through. Personally, I fail every couple of tries as well, because it's not too easy to remember. But as long as you get the big guy down, should be fine. Proving Grounds 3 is also kind of just a mediocre kind of challenge. Essentially, you're a technical dragon, so you have all the move skills in the game, but it also means your damage is really weak and your health is really low. For this challenge, you simply have to defeat all the enemies using nothing but weapon attacks. You won't fail if you hit someone without a weapon attack, you simply won't do any damage to them. The best bet for this one is to switch immediately to beast style. I'd say give it a couple of rolls and then grab an armchair or any piece of furniture to your right and smack down the guy directly behind you, because he's got a shotgun and he does not fuck around. Once you defeat this guy, you can either pick up his shotgun if you have enough space, or, now this is something I found out like really late, you can grab, there's a shotgun called the Expulsion 12, I'm pretty sure, and it is underneath some of the armchairs to the right of where you spawn. All you gotta do is move those armchairs, or maybe just grab them, smack them around a little bit, and the shotgun should pop up. Grab the shotgun and just shoot them, because it counts as a weapon attack. You do all the damage and you kill them. Proving Grounds 4 is a idolized dragon fight in which you must defeat all the chefs in the kitchen using only heat actions. This might sound scary at first, but it really isn't too hard. It's just a lot of time consuming measures, because you gotta build the heat, then you have to grab the enemy or do whatever to activate the heat action, stuff like that. Best bet, because this is idolized, what you can do is in brawler form, smack down an enemy or knock them down with a square triangle combo, and you'll instantly gain all your heat. You can then grab this enemy right next to the stove and use a heat action, and it immediately knocks them out. You can also use beast style when the enemies are crowded around to just kind of give them a smack or two. Then use a group heat action, or just grab one, slam his head into a desk, repeat. There really isn't much of a strategy except for target the tall guy in yellow first. I believe this is Chef Zhu or whatever. His combos are really annoying. It can keep you knocked down for like 10 seconds and it does way too much damage for you. Simply target him first, make sure not to get hit, and once he's down it should be pretty easy. There is a stamina and royale in one of the middle columns where they fucking cook. Just grab that, it should get you a bunch of heat, bunch of health. There's also a toughness double Z, somewhere inside corner on the left side where you spawn. These will just help you get, heat or health back if you're struggling. Proving Grounds 5 is a weakest dragon fight, so you have no skills, no health, no nothing. And the only criteria is to win the fight using only counterattacks. Quite literally the best thing to do is sit in the middle, wait till you get hit and press either triangle or square until the guy goes down. That's literally it. You can't do anything else. Proving Ground 6 is a little trickier. This one, you have two criteria to meet. First, you can only use rush style. Wait, no, that makes more criteria. Wait, hold up. So first, you're in rush style. Secondly, you can't take any damage because you're on quite literally a slither of health. And 3, you must stay in heat mode. Okay, must stay in heat mode. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind for later. Now, this challenge doesn't seem all too challenging once you get the hang of it, but it is so luck based. You do get these brass knuckles which help you deal more damage in rush style, which is pretty neat, but you spawn in, there'll be guys on your right, left, and right in front of you, and all the enemies here have guns, except for the final guy. The neat thing about this though, is that if you're quick enough, you can evade to get in front of them, do one square and then a triangle combo, so light attack and finisher, and it'll instantly knock them out, no matter which target it is, as long as it's not the last boss. There is one quirk to this, however. If you get grabbed throughout any part of this, you will lose this buff. Now this buff is the extra damage that you get in rush style once you've not taken damage at all. So getting grabbed technically counts as taking damage, and then you'd need to do an extra hit onto that finisher, and then you'll knock them out. But essentially it's just evade, bait out a gunshot, give him a combo, knock him out, get to the final guy. Now this final guy is a real pain in the ass. It's a fat dude with a samurai sword, and it is so tempting to do a heat action, but you can't do any heat actions. Anyone will just take away all your heat. In this final area, what you must do is bait out a sword attack or sword combo at the front, knock the guy right behind him, right? And then bait out another attack, knock out the guy next to him, and then consistently bait out attacks until you can get an opening from behind and just give him a good smackdown. This is very time consuming and it's very annoying if he baits you into attacking and just like slices you up from fucking no reach apparently, because it's like Rainbow Six hit scans sometimes. It just hits you and you don't even know. But after a couple tries, after a couple combos in the back, you should be able to get him down and beat Proving Ground 6. In Proving Ground 7, you are a strongest dragon yet again, but with a little bit of a twist. In this Proving Grounds, you are stuck in beast mode, and the only weapon you have is Golden Gun. You can only deal damage with the Golden Gun, and it is quite piss poor, but it one-shots most of the small, tiny, weeny enemies. There are bosses in this level, but we'll get into them later. Essentially, what you have to do is not take any damage, and just crawl to the end of the level without, with this shitty little gun. The best bet, if you're stuck in a bit of a pickle, is just evade until you get an opening, shoot him once with a lock on plus triangle, and then, just run through the level, make sure not to stop. You have to keep moving forward in this one, because the timer is not your friend. Because apparently in Beast style, you just stop running after a while. Like, Kiryu just gives up and his lungs are dying or something. To get past the first order of enemies, there will just be this one guy who you can shoot from afar, and what you want to do is shoot him maybe 2, 3, 4 times until he gets to his stagger animation where he's just on the floor bleeding out. And what you want to do is you want to let this guy bleed out, because it will deal more damage and it won't wake him up. If you shoot him, he will wake up and he could retaliate. So, don't do that. Run through inside, take out the enemies, just make sure not to, get yourself in the open. Barrel roll if you need to, get to the end. Once you get to the double doors and you get through those, you'll be surrounded by maybe 6, 7 enemies, plus a boss on the outside. From this point onwards, do not go forward, okay? Well, you can go forward, you just can't go down the steps. Maybe go behind one of the little pillars and just shoot all 6 of the enemies. Once the enemies in front go down, focus on the boss. Lock onto him, shoot him with the little golden gun, it will do no damage whatsoever to him, but you want to keep shooting. No matter what, keep shooting. As long as it hits him, it's fine. Don't let him bleed out, because once he gets up, he will not be happy with you. Just make sure not to step off the kind of steps, because if you do, he'll wake up, he'll be like, hey, come here, bitch. And it will just start shooting at you. And this guy, you actually can't evade his bullets. I tried, doesn't work. Make sure to get him, kill him. You probably have, like, what, 15 seconds left, and just run for those gates. Even if you're stuck in your crawling animation, or like really, really slow, you probably have enough time. You might have 4 or 5 seconds spare, so you definitely have enough. You don't have to reach the end, you just need to reach a certain trigger. Proving Grounds 8 is actually kind of easy. This one, you are stuck in dragon style, and what you have to do is essentially defeat these 3 bosses while your health drains, which is pretty annoying, because the health drain also means your heat drains. Now, I kid you not, the best way to do this is just Tiger Drop. Tiger Drop, Tiger Drop, Tiger Drop. Make sure you don't have that much heat, and they should go down relatively quickly. If you want a little extra boost, there are some drinks in the back, where in the kind of pond area, you can drink up, get some heat, and maybe do a heat action or 2 on some of the guys to, give yourself a fighting edge. This one's relatively simple. It's not too difficult, because you have enough health, you have enough time. It's just the bosses can sometimes stun you, and it's really annoying. Proving Grounds 9 is, what you have to do is protect this ominously lewd beetle from poachers for 3 minutes. Now, you are the strongest dragon, so you can, dish out as many attacks as you want, but it's pretty confusing if you don't know what you're doing. You will essentially start with no health at all, and you have to survive for 3 minutes. When I first did this battle, I genuinely thought you just had to do it without getting hit, which was kind of impossible. Well, not impossible, it was just really ludicrous, and I'd either have the beetle get to low health and I'd die, or I'll just get smacked from some bullshit attack. What you want to do in this challenge is go straight to dragon style. Actually, no you don't. What you want to do is, you want to go to brawler, you want to smack a guy down, or you want to evade an attack so you get full heat, and then perform a heat action in dragon style. Because in dragon style, there's a certain upgrade where the heat actions that you deal will give you back some health. Do a couple of these heat actions and you'll quite literally be set. My best bet, personally, just to stay in dragon style, but stay at like critical health, as long as your health bar is flashing red, because they don't do too much damage, and you'll keep that dragon speed combo, which is actually pretty neat. Instead of having to be in heat mode, which takes a while to generate in dragon style for some reason, and losing it the second you accidentally press a double finish or a finishing hold, which bullshit, mate, bullshit. Do it for 3 minutes. Protect this hot beetle, and then you win. Congrats. Proving Grounds 10 is a little bit tricky because you're playing as Date, but he's drunk as fuck. Best bet for this fight: never press triangle, never press Y, never press triangle, because that's like a really shit kick, and every time you perform any finishing move or combo, Date will go to the ground and will vomit. This spends about maybe like 5 seconds of a timer, and it's really, really annoying. The fight in and of itself is also a little challenging. The best strategy is to get the guy with the gun out first, obviously, so just keep hitting him with combos, and you want to utilize wall bounding. You want to try and get him up to a wall, or up to an invisible wall, and just hit a combo on him, make sure he gets knocked into it, as it deals extra damage. You can also dish off really a whole hell of a lot of damage if you hit one of them into the trees and the trees like bounce into them, because it also stuns them on the floor. There is one benefit with Date vomiting all the time, is that you can, because your hitbox is smaller, some attacks will just like not hit, so you could get a free opening if they just whiffed an attack. But yeah, you just want to focus on the gun guy, baseball bat, then the regular, and boom, that's all the Proving Grounds done. Congrats. I believe for this you should receive an item in your box, and you can go to New Game Plus or Premium Adventure and collect it from Bob down the Tinkachi Street sign. Certain restrictions. However, in this case, it is mostly about skill and how you can adapt to the situation, whereas Proving Grounds is just repeat, repeat, repeat. For melee battles 1, you simply have to defeat the 3 waves of enemies within a time limit. You are an idolized dragon, meaning all your heat actions will do the most damage they can, apart from, the damage upgrades in the body tree, and you have maximum heat. This first battle isn't too difficult. It really is just a lot of fodder enemies. They don't do too much damage. You can just smack them down. I would recommend using heat actions a lot if you can get them, because it stops the timer and it does a whole hell of a lot of damage. The hardest wave I'd probably say is wave 2, because there's Kojima in it, and apparently he doesn't want to take damage because he blocks 24/7, and he also just does so many combos that knock you down and deal way too much damage. It's just unfair. But if you grab maybe a bucket or a kettle, do a heat action on him, then he should go down relatively quickly. Smack him down. The last wave isn't too hard. They really just have, baseball bats that do a bunch of damage, but if you can smack them down, do a downed heat action, or just grab one, do a heat action, it really is pretty simple. Melee Battles 2 requires you to redo the prison fight at the start of the game with only the technical dragon skills. This one's also not too difficult, it's just that your punches do quite literally no damage, so your best bet here would either be going to Brawler or Rush, doing a couple combos to build up heat, and just doing a heat action on a downed enemy. Usually this will get all the enemies, like the small enemies, down. It's just the boss that you just have to corner and do a couple Brawler combos and he should go down pretty easily. Might get a little tight on the timer, especially if you didn't use heat actions, but if you can get all the small enemies down really quickly, the last guy should go down pretty easily as well. Melee Battle 3 is a dragon embodied fight where you simply have to defeat all the homeless folk in, like a minute or something. This one also isn't too difficult, it just could be a little confusing because you could defeat all of them and you won't know where else to go. My best bet, just go to beast style immediately, do a couple of just straight combos. It should get them down pretty easily. There will be some tougher guys. You can pick up some of the wooden katanas and hit them because it does do a lot of damage to them, but you can just do whatever you want. If you can get the first horde down, you might have about 30 seconds left. You might be a little confused because there's no one else left to fight. But what you have to do is you have to go back to an area, kind of like where you go training with Komaki. There will just be 2 guys standing there with bats. Simply smack them down in any style you want. They should go down pretty easily. They don't have too much health. That's Melee Battles 3 complete. Melee Battle 4 is a dragon reborn fight, and this is maybe a little bit of a tricky one. You don't have too much health, you don't have any of the moves, you don't have heat action power, you just have dragon style. Now this is quite a long battle. There'll be about 3 waves of enemies you have to deal with, each kind of getting increasing difficulty, but it's not too bad. My best bet for this fight, go to dragon style, maybe do a bunch of tiger drops, or get a weapon, like just knock someone down in dragon style, get a weapon, and as long as you don't get to that 1 heat bar that you have, you should be a-okay. Because in the dragon style skill tree, there is an upgrade that carries this entire challenge. Essentially, as long as you don't get to any heat mode, none of your weapons will lose durability. None of them. So what you can do is, you can grab a taser from one of the first enemies in the battle, and simply just swing that around. It does a bunch of damage and it won't decrease in durability. You can do that, or there might be some switchblades or some knives lying around, and just smack them down with those, slice them up. It should be pretty simple. You might get to low HP, but if you can do a heat action in dragon style, you can really gain all that health back. Or you can just do some cheeky tiger drops, doesn't really matter, whatever suits you. After a while, you get them down, and that's number 4 complete. Melee Battle is number 5, is an idolized dragon fight, and it essentially is just a long battle with the Laocoon goons. So the Snake Flower tribe. This one could be a little tricky because you don't do a whole lot of damage, but you have a whole lot of heat. Again, since there is a timer, just grabbing random furniture and performing heat actions really is your best friend. Knock them down, maybe pick up their swords. The swords do quite a bit of damage, so you can pick those up, also do some heat actions with those, and after a while, more and more enemies will start spawning in. Just target the ones with guns especially, because they can knock you down, take away a bunch of your health, and leave you open just getting kicked while you're down. After a bit, there should be a guy with a pole, and this guy is quite annoying because he'll just block all your attacks. But what you can do is you can just do a heat action with furniture. He can't really stop that because he doesn't block heat actions. So you can do one of those, take him down really easily, and that should be pretty much the end of the fight. There might be one or two enemies stuck up top. You can just smack them down because they're just knife throwers, they don't do too much damage. That's number 5 complete. It really isn't too difficult. I will say though that being stuck in brawler mode for this challenge could make it a little trickier. Melee Battle 6 is a technical dragon fight where you are stuck in rush style, and what you have to do is essentially defeat the Shimano family battle where you would normally fight Shimano himself, except he's just not there. What you have to do is defeat all the enemies within a certain amount of time, which I believe is 2 minutes, and you're home free. Now the best thing you can do here is to just go flank around behind, just knock a guy down, build some heat and do a heat action, because usually the ground stomp heat action just instantly knocks someone out. As long as you can take care of about 2-3 enemies yourself, all your backup, like, you know, just knock everyone else out. Again, this one's not too challenging, it's just that the restricted moveset might make it a little confusing or a little difficult. Melee Battle 7, you are stuck in B style and you are dragon embodied, and all you have to do is defeat the MIA agents within a certain time limit. This is, I believe, is 3 minutes, and this one's not too bad, it's just the beginning that's a little challenging. All you have to do for this one is to just find one with a gun, or one that's like pointing a gun at you, knock him down, grab his gun and just shoot. Shoot whoever pops up, you know. After a while you get this fat guy, which like, he loves bullets, he says gimme gimme, he doesn't take damage from them. But you can just keep shooting him, keep finding guns on the floor, let him bleed out for a bit, and yeah, kill him. Because you're in beast style, you can't really get knocked down too easily, and it's relatively easy once you get the hang of it. Now Melee Battles 8 is a really long one. What you have to do for this one is, it says here, you are Dragon Reborn, okay, so all the dragon skill trees, and you have to topple the boss at the top within the time limit, okay? Just keep that in mind. Now the time limit for this level is 30 minutes, which is way more than enough, way more than you need. The only challenge with this comes is that, you know, you Dragon Reborn, you can only really use the dragon style, so yeah, it's not, yeah, it could be a little iffy. Essentially the strat is just maybe get some heat, get some combos in, don't use double finishes or, you know, fishing holds. Anything that drains your heat, don't do that. Unless you're in low health and you want to do a heat action, then do that, save yourself from health. There are certain drinks around, laying in little corridors that you can pick up, usually stamina royale or some toughness drinks, just to get your health and heat back up if you're, you know, feeling a little down. You can also just tiger drop your way to the top, and if you're skilled enough, you can really get to the top in maybe about 8 minutes. There's no real way to go around it. There will be sections where you're forced to defeat enemies because you will have to knock down a door, and there'll be forced fights, but I believe there are some fights you can just straight up ignore. Again, mastering the dragon style really is your best friend here. Just, you know, using charged finishes is also really good against, you know, stronger enemies, but if they have lighter attacks. Tiger drop, you know, Kumaki parry, all those would really help you get through this battle. Once you get to the top, there will be, you know, the RSA fight. This man, oh, he sucks. He'll just completely dodge all your attacks. He'll, you know, run around, he'll shoot you in the back, get, you know, some nasty back shots. And if you're trying to deal with the enemies next to him, it's not really that easy. One thing you can do, however, is tiger drop his bullets. Now, I know, this might sound a little ludicrous, but hear me out, right? If you can get him to a really long shooting animation, you can tiger drop him, and because you don't have that much heat, you'll take away basically all of his health. As stupid as it sounds, it really does work. You just need to get the timing right, and you'll just knock him down. Once you defeat him and all his enemies, you're pretty much scot-free. You won battle. Melee Battle 9 is the strongest dragon fight, and this one's probably the most confusing out of all of them. Essentially, you have to just get to the bottom. It's the Majima family fight from later in the game, and you essentially just have to beat Majima within 3 minutes. Now, you don't spawn into this boss battle, you spawn all the way at the start of the level. And it might be a little confusing, like 3 minutes to defeat all these guys and Majima might sound a little impossible. And it is. See, what you actually have to do is not fight any of the enemies at all. Just get those little couch fucking dwellers, just, you know, do the couch hit action, knock them down, and just run straight to Majima. If you don't know this one little thing, you definitely fail all the time. To get to the Majima fight, really just tiger drop your way through it. That's what I did, because you can't really do too many combos. He'll just usually punish you most of the time. Make sure you don't get your neck snapped with the heat action, and just, yeah, just tiger drop, tiger drop, tiger drop. after a couple target drops and some, climax hit actions, he'll go down really quickly. Now, Melee Battles 10 is definitely one of the... it was confusing as hell. See, your weakest dragon, and you kind of have to just like do this crazy little battle with Kashiwagi and Sarah, and it is not fun. First group of enemies, you can just go to beast style, grab a lantern, knock them down, grab another lantern, knock them down, should take them out. Then after that is the Kashiwagi fight. What I found is the best way is, if you have heat from the previous battle, run straight for a couch and just do a couch heat action. You'll have barely enough time to get that heat action out once he runs at you, because he will immediately go into an attack. But if you can just time it right, you'll get that heat action in. That's a third of his health gone. You essentially want to put this strat into repeat, maybe go into brawler or rush, hit him from behind when he whiffs a combo, go straight for another couch, heat action, repeat until he's dead. Then the smaller enemies are pretty easy to deal with, maybe go to brawler form, it's really the easiest to take these guys down, or maybe rush if you want those heat actions in, to just instantly knock them out. Once you get to the door, that's takes you outside again, there will be this guy. Now trust me on this, okay? All you have to do is run to his right, he'll do a flying kick, just do a little rush combo, knock him down, and repeat that. That's what happened to me. I got him stuck into this little loop where he just kept doing this one attack, and you can just knock him down. If you try fighting him head on, he'll just hit you with a combo that will take away half your health. I'm not joking, it will keep you on the floor, and he'll just touch you up. I'm dead ass, he'll just touch you up while you're on the floor. If you can get through with most of your health intact, the last fight shouldn't be too hard. It is against Sarah, and this guy, he will punish you even if you land hits on him. All you want to do is, if you have heat from the last battle from the boss, you can just straight up grab a lantern, do a hit action on him. You do want to kind of switch styles, because I do believe there is a heat action damage reduction in this game, and it kind of hurts the performance. Your hits don't really do as much as they should be. But if you can just, get those lanterns in, smack them down, it should be pretty easy. Use the weaker enemies just to gain heat, knock them down if you have to, and just repeat lantern heat actions on Sarah. If he's on really low health, you can try doing a combo, but you just have to be very careful, because if you miss even one hit, he'll just do a little kick and he'll take away all your health. This might take you a couple tries, but after a while, you will succeed, and you will beat it. And that's all the melee battles done. You should receive an item in a box, you can collect it from Bob down Tenkaichi Street Sign, and yeah, onto the Mad Dog battles. Now, Mad Dog battles in this game are just fights with Majima, but they're really short. These ones don't really need too much of a guide. I'm just going to explain what you have to do, it's pretty simple. Mad Dog battle number 1 is just a fight against Majima. You're stuck in rush style, and all you have to do is just, knock down Majima. This is pretty easy because he's in this breaker style, and if you can get a combo on him at first, he really can't fight back all too well. Just make sure not to try to avoid going near the chairs a lot, because he could spin them around in one of his breaker combos and it could deal a bunch of damage. Simply knock him down, maybe use a heat action or two, and your climax heat action will always knock him down. Mad Dog fight number 2 is also pretty simple, but with a twist. Essentially, you have to defeat Officer Majima, so it will be in a slugger style, but you can't hit any of the other 2 police officers. The best way to go about this is to just grab Majima, slam him onto the ground, and use either a heat action or stomp on him, and you should get him down to relatively low health. Maybe hit him a couple times as well, just making sure not to hit any of the police officers, as they can grab you and just fling you to the ground. If you can get that climax heat action in, it will instantly knock him down, or you can just do a couple of quick combos that will only target Majima. Once he gets down to really low health though, the other officers will act as clones of Majima, so they'll all make the same sound, they'll all do the exact same moves, but you just can't hit them, you can't fight back. Could take you a couple tries, but after a while, you will get it, and you will take him down. Mad Dog Battle 3 is a long battle, and it's against Zombie Majima. Essentially, you just have to defeat Majima a bunch of times. You have to defeat his goons as well, or little zombies that spawn with him, and you just have to do that a couple of times. The first battle isn't really too hard. you can just knock him down. Don't use your Climax heat just yet, because I'm pretty sure it will decrease the damage of future ones, so just don't use it until the last battle. Once you're done, you'll run through down an alley, knock the other zombies down, go to the fight with Majima, get him down. It should be pretty easy because the first two fights aren't really that hard. You are stuck in brawler form for this one though, which is kind of annoying, but it is really the best way you can go about it. After the second fight, you'll have to go down a bunch of other alleys or open areas, fight off the zombies. The zombies are really easy to take care of. If you're quick enough, they will not even land a hit on you. After a bit, you'll get to the last Majima fight, and this one is a bit trickier. He has way more health. He's got 2 backup zombies, but they're really easy to deal with, and he's got like all his moveset done. You can't really grab him, you can't do a lot of the moves really, and your best bet is either using a body counter, so block and then use triangle as secondary attacks, or you can try pulling out lightning fist, but the lightning fist won't really stun him. Just try maybe get some weapons, it's like bicycles or some signs, just grab those, use a couple of heat actions on him, and make sure you use your Climax heat actions on this one because he will regain a bunch of health if you don't do it. So just do it both times if you can, and he should go down pretty easily. You will be a little tough on time if you're not, doing too well, but you will be able to get it. Mad Dog Battle 4, you are the weakest dragon, and it is against Hanya Man Majima. Now this version of Majima is really, really weak, so you can really do a bunch of combos on him. Best way I found is just stick in brawler form, just do combos, just do maybe a 3-hit combo, 3-hit finisher, just do a bunch of those, and it should take him down. Once he gets a Climax heat, I would use like a heat action with a chair or something to knock him down, because the second he gets to about 30% health left, he will spawn in another Hanya mask. There'll be 3 in total you have to defeat, and once one of them finishes their little Climax heat, health regain animation, they'll turn the heat mode and they'll get a little more aggressive. They'll be able to do more heat actions, they'll do a little bit more damage I believe, and they'll just be harder to hit. So it's best to, knock them down before another one spawns in. Repeat that 3 times, and this battle should be pretty easily done with. It's just a little time consuming is all. Now Mad Dog Battle 5 is a Majima-thon. It really is just the 3 versions of Majima. You have to defeat Zombie Majima, you have to defeat everyone's idol Goro, you have to defeat the Slugger version of Majima, and you have to defeat Goromi. It's 4 stars actually, my bad. Because you are the strongest dragon, you can really get through this with whatever way you feel is comfortable with you. Me personally, just do tiger drops all the time because it's really easy, do some heat actions to stop the timer. You do have 3 minutes, which might be a little tight if you don't really know what you're doing, but if you can just tiger drop, do anything that does a lot of damage in a short amount of time, it should be pretty easy. The hardest part will probably be Goromi, because it's the Mad Dog version of Majima, which is kind of hard to deal with at first because you can't really block his attacks. Then you can do tiger drops, or maybe you can find a way to do another counter attack, or just go behind after he attacks. The thing you should definitely do is always do the Climax heat action, because it will always deal all his health, okay? It will get him down really low. If you're quick enough, and if you do a tiger drop or 2, can just kind of like chop off half his health. He'll do that little heat action like prompt. You can do that, it will take him down to like 1 or 2 bars of health, and then they'll just repeat that until you kill him. If you can do that successfully, this challenge is piss, mate. It is really easy. You should receive Majima's gloves, which you can pick up from Bob in a New Game Plus or Premium Adventure. Now onto the final section, the Ultimate Battles. The Ultimate Battles are quite literally just boss rushes in the game. You'll always be the strongest dragon for all of them, and they're pretty easy in itself. There's not really much point of a guide for them, but I'll just walk you through them anyway, just in case you need a little refresher. For Ultimate Battles 1, you just have to go through all the gangs, so you'll first go against Takashi, next you'll go up against the Bee King, thirdly you'll go up against the Blue Gang, so this guy has a taser. The 4th battle is up against the White Gang, and the last one is just up against the Red Gang, so the main boss fight. Takashi is really simple to defeat, just try not to get hit because he will fling you all the way over the batting cages, and maybe just a quick tiger drop will take him down. The Bee King is a little harder. I would say like maybe go into Bee style, grab the chairs, fling down his friends, but they can kind of stun you into a massive combo, or they can just straight up not take damage and just smack you from wherever they feel like it, take away all your heat. but again, it's not too difficult. The third fight, I'd focus on getting all the other enemies out first, because the guy with the taser is really not your main target. If you can get him to whiff out a combo, his friends are really easy to deal with. After you get him down, you'll go up against a white gang. Now these guys, this is a little trickier because you can do a beast style combo where you won't get knocked down, but the main boss man, he just doesn't give up. I have a clip, it's just me getting stun locked for about 10 seconds. I can't do anything, I can't resist guard or anything because he's just got you in this massive combo. You have to get lucky and dodge out of it, and then you can fight back. Maybe grab a bicycle on the side if you can and just smack down all the enemies. You have to kind of make sure you get the boss man down first, you know, get him to his climax heat mode, just so that you can get that little extra damage from him, because he's too weak to gain any health back. After that, you'll go up against the Akai brothers, and this fight's a little trickier. I've never personally been a fan of this fight because they just deal way too much damage for you, but if you're in Dragon style, you can kind of tiger drop, you know, the younger Akai brother and the older one, you know, the one that break dances. Get free openings, you know, just make sure you evade, don't get hit, and after that one it's pretty easy to deal with. Maybe you can grab the stun gun, you know, in Dragon style, so you can get rid of the weaker enemies around, so you can just focus on the Akai brothers. But eventually you'll get it down. It's not too difficult and it's not too lengthy. Okay, I may have lied, that isn't the last battle, there is still the Battle of Yuya, but this one's just really easy. Tiger drops, or basically how you'd fight the normal fight, because he's pretty weak. Just make sure to not, you know, try and get him out as quick as possible, because he can do the sneaky little heat action if he grabs you. Even though I escaped it, he still managed to do the heat action, which took away a bit of my health, but after a while, you'll just get him down. Not too difficult. That's Ultimate Battles 1. Ultimate Battles 2 is against the foreigners of the game, so you'll go up against the Ali brothers, which again is a pretty easy fight, nothing too difficult. The second battle is up against Gary Buster Holmes, which again, really simple. Tiger drop, or just how you would normally do the fight. Just make sure not to get like grabbed or in a situation where you can do the heat action on you. It's pretty easy. Last fight's up against Lao Kalong, so just do that battle how you normally would. He does have, I believe, a little more health, so be a little more careful, but again, you know, you can just tiger drop your way through it. Ultimate Battles 3 consists of all the hitmen in the game, so the first battle will be up against the prisoners, which will try to kill you at the start. Now, because you are like the strongest dragon, you will always be able to just knock them flat on their ass no matter what. Trust me, this fight is really easy. The second fight is up against the assassin in the nightclub with the shotgun. This guy's really easy. You could either bait out a shotgun attack, or you can just smack him down because he doesn't really have any, you know, melee attacks to go up against you. So he's really easy to just whoop down. Third fight is up against RSA. Now this guy's, again, it's a little trickier because he just dodges around the fucking place. All you can do is you can just take out his friends. Sometimes you can get him to a position where he won't attack you no matter what you do. So just try and get him there. You know, it could be behind the air conditioner. Defeat his goons, sorry. Maybe grab the gun on the floor, shoot up whoever else is left, because they'll just bleed out, and focus on RSA. Yeah, tiger drop his bullets somehow, I don't know how that works. Maybe just hit him with a few combos when he's stunned, and make sure to do the climax heat action if you can. That's number 3 complete. It's pretty easy. Number 4 is up against all the kind of Yakuza bosses in the game. Well, some of them actually. First fight will be in the nightclub fight, usually where you rescue Takashi. This is a pretty simple fight. The main target is the guy with the knife, so Asai, but he's also pretty easy. There's a drink in the back you might be able to pick up. I don't know what it was because I never picked it up, but yeah, pick it up. It's definitely beneficial. Could just go straight to beast style, you know, grab a couple desks and just smack them about. It should really, this fight isn't really too hard. The second fight is up against Shindo. This one's also relatively easy. You could just go straight to beast style and just do a couple combos. You can also do his kind of running heat action for Kiryu, where you instantly take out 4 enemies no matter what, and if you can land that on Shindo, it will do a bunch of damage onto him. Trust me, it will basically take him out. And since you can't get knocked down, you can really do an endless string of combos until either your heat runs out or it's just Shindo left. The third fight is up against Hayashi. This guy, he just sucks. Like, he'll stun you up, he'll get you into these little combos where he'll just knock you down, flatten your ass, and he can even do the essence I don't know what it's called, but it's just an attack, a heat action that will knock you flat on your ass, and it will just take away all your health. Really, just maybe go beast mode, smack down his teammates, and then go straight for him, a couple tiger drops, or maybe just wait for an opening, which, I mean, he doesn't really have too many, so tiger drops is probably your best bet. That's the third fight done. The fourth fight is up against RSA again, so just repeat the strategy I told you before, you know, look for an opening, tiger drop him, you know, get his teammates out first, obviously with guns, you know, don't want to get shot up. It should be pretty simple. The next fight is up against Majima in the kind of Majima family longbow battle. This one's pretty simple as well, you know, a couple tiger drops, or just wait for openings, because there's no time limit in these battles. You can take as long as you want, and if you picked up the drink at the start, you know, you might be able to drink that and get some heat, do a couple heat actions in dragon style, or just in any style you feel. That should be pretty simple. Now the last fight in this section is up against Futoshi Shimano. He'll have a little more health, but considering he has such a wide opening in attacks, it really hurts to not tiger drop him. Keep doing tiger drops, maybe use that essence of beast or time for destruction thing you can do in beast style, and just, you know, get that extra damage boost for the tiger drop. Just keep doing that. It should knock him down pretty quickly. Even if he regains health from the climax health kind of regeneration part, it really is pretty simple to take him down. After that, all's left is just Ultimate Battle 5. Now this one, it's just a long battle of all the end of chapter bosses, I would call them, because it really is just all the ones you'd fight at the end. It's not all the bosses in the game, because it is missing some, like the Jingu fight, which, praise be the Lord, thank you for not giving us the Jingu fight in this. So first, you would go up against the prisoners, so again, not too difficult, smack them down, should be pretty easy. Second fight is up against Yuya, which again is really easy. He doesn't have that health buff like he did in the first climax battle, so it's pretty simple to take him down. Make sure you hit that quick time event so you don't take a bunch of damage, and yeah, it's pretty easy. The next fight is the Shimano fight. Again, he has a lot of openings, so you can do tiger drops, or you can just run it behind him, do a large combo. The one thing that sucks, obviously, is that he has that, you know, hyper armor kind of, where he can't get stunned out of an attack, but still, you can just knock him down pretty easily. Next is the Hayashi fight, which just take the tips from before, get some openings, tiger drop. Pretty simple. Make sure to go to beast style, you know, grab some chairs to knock down his friends, and maybe you might even be able to knock him down as well. He's just a bit of a trickier boss. Next is Gary Buster Holmes, and this guy's a joke. You could either tiger drop him once and it kills him, or you can do a quick heat action in dragon style, you know, stomp him a couple times, trying to get grabbed for his grab heat action. And this, honestly, it's piss, mate. It's piss. After that is the fight against Shota. This guy is also really easy. You could just grab a chair, do a heat action on him, or you could just fling it around. Just try not to get hit with his combo, because it will stun you and take away a bit of your health, but it mostly just stuns you and wastes your time. After that is the Shindo fight. Again, beast style, just smack down all his friends. If you're trying to do no damage run, good luck to you. I don't really care about that. Just hit him in beast style. You have a lot of health anyway, so you can tank whatever gets thrown at you. After is the Akai brother fight. I just hate this fight because it's so dumb. It pairs up corporal drop kick with fucking breaker Majima. It's just not fun. We pull off some heat actions in dragon style, like essence of sumo slapping, or just some tiger drops, because that's quite literally the easiest way to get through all of it. Just tiger drop, and you should be able to get through it. Maybe on a little bit of health, maybe on a lot of health. I don't know. If you like this fight, you think it's easy, you have a fun time, I guess. After is the fight with Lao Kalong. He doesn't have as much health as he did before in this fight, but again, it's a little annoying because of his spear attacks, but you can get a lot of openings to counter attacks, like tiger drops, lightning fist, body counter resist, or you could even just get some combos in from behind if you can. Me personally, I find this fight to be pretty easy with tiger drop, because, you know, it's tiger drop, can't really go wrong with it. After is the RSA fight. Again, same tip. This is like the third time you fight him, fourth time you fight him. Just grab a gun, shoot his friends, or just, you know, knock the guy down with a gun, shoot his friends, and then focus on him, tiger drop his bullets and whatnot. It's pretty simple. After is the Majima fight. Again, from like the Majima family long battle. This is pretty easy. Again, tiger drop. All you can do is just tiger drop. Maybe get some counterattacks in. Doesn't really matter. as long as you just, knock him down. Then there's the second Shimano fight where he's got his, samurai sword. This one's, it's a little trickier. You might not have enough heat, especially if you just fought Majima and did a bunch of heat actions on him. But what you can do is you can just smack a guy down, get all that heat back. Take out all the enemies around Shimano first is my best bet, and then focus on Shimano, because usually those other enemies might knock you down when he's doing a combo, or he'll knock you down while you're trying to fight him again. You usually have enough teammates behind you just to help you out. After this comes the final battle against Nishiki. This one is super duper easy. Now, ready for this rant? Tiger Drop. Trust me, Tiger Drop. His openings are so large for a final boss, you can just Tiger Drop your way through. And if you get him to a certain amount of low health, you can just Tiger Drop, and then he'll get stuck in like the dragon style kind of climax heat thing. And you can just use that. You can use the climax heat action, just get him down to low health. I managed to do it maybe 4 times in a row, or 4 times out of the entire fight, and just kill him, because he's pretty simple. And after that, you should defeat all the climax battles, and you should get the War God Talisman. This accessory is so good if you want to build up heat in the main game, especially again in the Joamone fight. But again, to get it, go up to Bob, Gacha Street Sign New Game Plus or Premium Adventure, and it'll just be waiting there for you. So yeah, that's all the climax battles in Yakuza Kiwami 1. If you enjoyed, like, subscribe, and do whatever you want.